Hi friends, well welcome back to my channel. So I've got a question for you today. Do you want to declutter? Do you want a peaceful, calm space? But every time you try and do that, something deeper gets stirred up. Maybe it's grief or guilt or sadness. And here's the truth. You really can't let go of these things without facing all of those emotions that come up. And especially if you're someone who has spent a lifetime putting others first, like many of us do. Maybe you've kept things out of obligation or feeling guilty for letting things go. I've got some good news for you. You can learn to release the stuff and the pain that goes along with it. And you can do that without feeling like you're falling apart. It is possible. And in this video, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. So if you have ever cleaned up a pile of clutter or a room or a garage only to have it come back again, and if you've held on to things because they were gifts or reminders of someone that you didn't want to disappoint, if you've ever felt those things, then stick around because that's what we're talking about today. This video is for you. Now, decluttering isn't just about getting organized. It's about untangling all of those feelings, all of those emotions, that the people pleasing, all of that stuff that we do, the people pleasing and the pressure behind what we keep. That's what decluttering is really about. And when you do that, everything changes. You know, so many of us think that decluttering should be simple, should be easy. Just decide what you want to keep and what you want to let go of. But when you pause in front of something from your past and you feel that lump in your throat, that tightness in your chest, that wave of guilt, that's not clutter. That's emotion. That's not just the stuff. It's a memory. It's a loss, maybe. And if you've spent your lifetime trying to be the good one, the perfect one, the good girl, the helpful one, or maybe the peacekeeper, then even a simple object can feel impossible to let go of. And today, I'm going to show you why that is and how to start facing the clutter and the overwhelm with compassion and not shame or guilt. I want to share a story with you from my personal life about letting go of something that had emotion and longing behind it. This necklace was a gift from my sister. Now, she's not my biological sister. I came into the family when I was just a kid, and she was already grown and gone with a family of her own. I came into the family as a foster child. So my sister that gave me this necklace, we didn't grow up together. And as adults, we really do care about each other, but we're pretty different people. So when she gave me this necklace a few years ago, I was really happy. Not because it was such a beautiful necklace or that I thought I would wear it all the time. I don't really wear necklaces that much. But to me, it felt like a real sister gift. And I wanted it to mean that we had that close sister relationship that I'd always wished for, that sisters have when they grow up together, when they share that childhood and those memories. So I had hoped that the necklace could somehow make up for the parts of our relationship that really just weren't there. They weren't there because we didn't share a childhood, because we weren't blood sisters, and because now we're pretty different as adults. But that's not really what it's about. The truth is that this necklace can't give me that relationship that we never really had, that we were never going to have. This necklace is just a piece of metal hanging on a chain, and that's okay. Compassion. It's okay for me to feel a little sad about the kind of sister bond that I had always wanted but didn't have. The other thing that I can do is that I can be thankful for the good things that we do have, the ways that she has cared for me, and the many things she has taught me in life. and the love that is there, even if it looks different than what I had hoped for. So letting go of this necklace doesn't mean I'm letting go of my sister and my love for her, but letting go of it can kind of mean I see the relationship for what it is and not for what I had really hoped it could be. So sometimes things in our home feel heavier than they really look. Now, it's not because they're big or physically heavy, but because they carry emotion. And maybe even as I say this, you're thinking of something. You know what that thing is, something in your house that makes your chest tighten a little bit. Maybe it's a sweater or a letter from someone or a gift. It's one object that's loaded with memory. Now, you've heard me talk about the necklace from my sister, but I want to share another object that I hung on to for years that was also loaded with memory and with feeling. And that thing was an open pack of wintergreen lifesavers. Now, they were old, they were way too old to eat, but they had been in my dad's suit pocket, and I found them when he died. I kept them because they reminded me of him and how he used to eat them during church, and he'd quietly pass one to me. Now, that's a precious story. But eventually I had to realize that those lifesavers weren't him. They just held that memory. And that memory now lives on inside of me. It's not in that old package of wintergreen lifesavers. So here's a tip. Here's a tip I want to give you. When you are struggling to let go of something from the past, just pause and notice what feeling comes up, and don't push that feeling away. Even if it's hard, don't push it away. Get curious about that feeling and what it wants to tell you. And ask yourself, what does this item represent? What memory or emotion is it holding for me? And when you realize that it's not really about the thing, but it's about the story or the feeling that it holds, then it can become so much easier to let go of that thing. And sometimes just understanding why an object holds emotion can help us to let it go. Just that simple act of pausing and figuring out what's going on. But sometimes we're not even sure what we're feeling. It might be hard for us to understand why we're holding on to this. What's the feeling that's coming up? And that's because for many of us, we've spent a lifetime caring for others and putting others' needs first. And so it can be hard to recognize your own emotions. They get buried. They get buried quietly under years of responsibility, busyness, and self-criticism. We kind of do it to ourselves sometimes. So instead of tuning in to what we feel, we hear that inner voice saying, you should have done better. Negative, critical inner voice. Or it might be saying, ugh, you are so disorganized. Or maybe it says, you're not enough. That was a big one for me, and I know it is for many of my clients. Maybe you're holding on to an unfinished project. I know I did that, and I still do that. So instead of judging yourself, be curious about why is it hard to finish that project. So often we judge ourselves for not being more focused, for not being more productive or more put together, whatever that means. So instead of sadness and overwhelm and all of those feelings that come up, we may feel shame, just shame. And that shame keeps us stuck. It keeps us stuck and surrounded by clutter that we don't understand and that we can't release. But here's the truth. Here's the truth, friend. You do not need to feel ashamed. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You are courageous for facing this, for watching this video and realizing that you can face your clutter. Letting go isn't just about clearing physical space. It's about making emotional room to breathe, to process, and to feel those really difficult, hard emotions. And when you start paying attention to what's really going on inside and not that negative inner critic, but to what your true emotions are, then you can begin to let go with compassion, not just of the stuff, but of the guilt and the judgment too. So as you release something, whether it's big or small, take a moment to thank yourself. Thank yourself for choosing peace, for choosing a calmer, kinder place to live, inside and out, because you are worth it and you deserve it. So, as you start making space physically and emotionally, you may begin to feel lighter. But that doesn't mean it's going to always feel easier. I'll be honest with you. This process may and probably will feel uncomfortable. I know it has for me many times. But you know what? That's not a bad thing. Discomfort is not the enemy. That discomfort means you're growing, you're learning something new is happening. So it's okay to feel uncomfortable. Stored emotions might rise up, not to punish you, but because they're finally being seen and heard, and they can be healed then. So when those feelings come, let them. If something brings tears, it's okay. Let them fall. It's not a sign to stop. It's not a sign to run away. It's a sign that you are doing deep, meaningful work. And please hear this. You are not doing it wrong. You are not weak. You are human. And this takes courage. So you are exactly where you need to be and doing it the way you need to. And yes, there will be tears and sadness and even anger, but that's all part of the healing process. It means that you're finally connecting to those parts of yourself that may have been buried for a long time. And that's okay. That's good. That's healing. And when you can gently say, this object is not the person. It's not the memory itself. And when you meet your feelings with curiosity rather than judgment, then that's where the true shift can begin. And you begin healing, not about just letting go of the things, but releasing that pain and pressure and the perfectionism that comes along with it. And in their place, you can create something wonderful and new. You can create space and peace. And you can have a home that feels safe and calm. You can have that kind of home to be in. Because it's filled not with all this stuff, but it's filled with you, the real you. Now, if you would like to discover the connection between emotional overwhelm and a chaotic home, all the things we've been talking about, stick around because at the end of this video, I have a special gift that I'm going to give you. And because this is day 4 of our decluttering challenge, I have an insight and an affirmation, a journal prompt, and an action step for you. So first we have the insight. And it's what we've been talking about this whole video. Letting go may bring up grief, but that's normal and that's healing. And then the affirmation is, I honor what I feel and I don't rush through my feelings. So you can say that to yourself over and over again when it gets hard, when it feels uncomfortable. You can feel those feelings and you don't have to rush through them. And then a journal prompt that you can use. What emotions arise when I try to let go? Think about that and journal about that. That can be helpful. And then last is the action step. And this is like some of the other action steps, but take an object that's difficult, maybe laden with memory and feelings. And as you hold that object, name the feeling that you are feeling and let yourself feel it. Don't run away from it. You can feel it. You can bear that. It's okay. You can do it. I know you can. So if this video spoke to something deep within you, if you've been holding on to things out of guilt or grief or the need to make other people happy, then I want to invite you to my free upcoming class, the Clutter Cure. Now, it's not maybe exactly the cure, but it's going to help you figure out how to let go. And over time, there can be a cure to letting go of all of this stuff. It's happening for me, and it can happen for you too. So this class is a trauma-informed space where we'll gently explore why it feels so hard to let go and how people-pleasing and emotional overload and clutter are more connected than you think. And that's what this whole challenge has been about. And in this class, you're going to walk away with real tools and powerful insights and a new sense of freedom, not just in your home, but also in your heart, in your emotions, in your mind. You don't have to do this alone. So come and join us and take the first step towards creating a life and a space that truly supports you. And I will leave the link to the information about the class and how you can register. I'm going to leave that in the show notes. Okay, I hope this was helpful for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.